Hey guys, welcome to episode 5 of Playthrough with the Designer. This week we've got a guy who's burst onto the scene this year. Goes by the name of freternick. How's it going, Nick?
It's going great, Wayne. How are
Awesome.
you?
Good. Good. So it's Saturday night as we're recording this. You guys will be seeing it on Monday if you see it the day it comes out. We're going to play Nick's rookie design contest course, Humble Sands. But this time last year, did anybody even know who you were yet?
Um, no, I think I was going to ask you when you started streaming the, the 2K golf. Um,
Uh, that
the
would
first
have.
thing go ahead.
I was gonna say the first. It would have been about end of January last year. Oh, I can't fly around in this. Yeah, it was like end of January, early February, I think,
Okay,
last year.
so the first kind of submission I had to anything like TGC Tours related or content was Design League Season 2, like the second contest, which was the flat plot,
Right.
which was that Catalina wine mixer
Oh yeah.
uh, entry and it kind of came at a good time because I had on Facebook was kind of where I was posting a couple courses I made, and I think McTree's Forest at some point, through comments, I said, "Oh, I'm open to critical feedback and a roast. Have at it." And then he sent me a video of his playthrough and really pointed out like what I would feel like now are obvious mistakes, but um, sent that to me and they say, check out these forums and kind of connected me into kind of the TGC. And then, like I said, I think that first submission was where I first kind of caught wind of you streaming and
Yeah.
pretty much everything that goes on.
Yeah, because I was streaming all of the Design League stuff. That makes sense. So yeah, that was 2.2. That would have been, I don't know, May, April, May, something like that. So it hasn't been very long.
No,
So that's how you snuck in as a design or as a rookie, even though you were part of the most recent Dream Team, right?
that's correct. And this course here was kind of like everything coming out of Dream Team and everything I learned and all the mistakes I made and you know overthinking things and
Nice.
um, stressing out over little details. And this
Yeah.
one I kind of and said, gonna kind of just have fun with it, build a course I think that's fun to play and not worry. And thankfully, I got a lot of really good feedback because this being the rookie contest, um, guys were able to play betas and
Yeah.
uh, like Pithy did a recorded playthrough. I think he streamed it and told me all the mistakes I was making.
Okay. So right out of the gate, we've got a hole where you're chipping from the green.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
so when you designed it, like what was your thought process designing this course? What were you going for? Um, what was it kind of some of the stuff that you took from Dream or from Dream Team?
um, so this was actually, I think the course file of this actually is that Dream or that Design League file, the Catalina wine mixer file.
Okay.
And I think pretty much all my courses start with this vision of, you know, what you might call a links or a link style course,
Yeah.
because that's always in my head what I wish I could build. Um, so I kind of raised this plot up and put a routing on it, changed the theme. Um, I think it was originally a Highlands theme, and built maybe, I don't know, 15 greens or so after I routed it. And then I, I don't know what I saw, maybe something on Instagram or say, you see this photo of Gamble Sands in Washington State, and I kind of looked at it and whatever reason I, brought it up on Google Earth and did a little research and saw that a lot of the holes kind of fit in with the routing I had, just in a different order.
Okay.
Uh, and sometimes that's the way I design, where it's like I'm not the best at creating original hole thoughts. So I might lay something down and then start tweaking it to make it more interesting in the game.
Cool. So one thing I remember, so I have played this course on Twitch. I haven't, that playthrough never did get to YouTube. I'm not sure why. But it's fortunate it didn't, because now I get to do it with you. But I remember when I played on Twitch, the one comment I did have here was the way the routing is here, that these two greens are really close, and it was not completely obvious which green to go to other than the cursor being above the flag.
Yep, there's definitely a couple times in this routing that you see that, and I wanted to make everything almost fairway and then nothing, or
Okay.
fairway bunker, fairway rough, but not, there's not much rough on either side. Um, Wanted everything pretty wide open that you feel like you can hit the ball anywhere. Um, so yeah, but there are a couple quirky spots where I think like when we get to like number 8,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have, like you said, if you didn't have the cursor, you could very easily go the wrong green in real life.
Yeah. And then the other thing I think I mentioned was, I mean, that's an evil bunker behind the green, which is fine. But you've got a backstop protecting it, which I thought was kind of interesting on a short hole like this.
Yeah, so I think it's funny. I want to say Maddie was kind of giving me some knowledge or info about the designer of Gamble Sands, and said, you kind of got to make things a little more funkier and this, that, or the other. And I think he referenced him as like DMK, and I'm like, who? I don't know a lot of these designers. So when I went into a little research about it, apparently he had designed one of the courses at St. Andrews, obviously something newer,
Okay.
uh, and made it really, really challenging. So then I think he did a course. People are probably going to yell at me for all the errors I make in saying this, but he did a course at Bandon,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then this at Gamble Sands, and uh, I remember reading that it was like he was trying to make it not as challenging, really
Okay.
something friendly to any player, um, challenging enough to a good player to keep their interest, but the everyday golfer is really supposed to be able to get some favorable bounces and enjoy the round.
Okay.
Uh,
So
some
that's the backstops there for that then.
Yeah, I want like, even if you miss a little shot or something, I want you to be able to easily recover and make everything fun. I think with
Okay.
Dream Team, I remember like some of my greens were really you know bad pins and tough slopes, and I think they were sitting at like 150 something, and um, I remember thinking, like, watching people play it and go, the idea behind that, which was a lot of off course cool stuff to look at, really should have been more fun to play. And I kind of regretted, you know, thinking strategy meant difficulty,
Mm.
and that's not always the case.
Okay.
So on this one,
And
I
just
wanted some
remind people what your dream team course was called.
Royal Hater or Jader.
You named it. You don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Nice.
It's a terrible name. Um, but yeah, that you go into Dream Team and people are kind of looking at me like, oh, you do all that off course stuff, and it's neat or whatever. And I think Pat and we were starting a collab where I was building a cruise ship. So I was showing people that, and so it kind of like built that hype around the off course stuff. So I'm pretty sure my clubhouse was built before I even laid a hole down, which is completely the wrong way to go. I think.
Oh no. No, don't no. Oh, Velcro fairway.
And you see, I am a CC golfer. This
Yeah.
is one thing I want to point out, and this is actually first time on tour for me that this is this week's CC course, um, which was honestly a big deal as a designer. That
Whoa. So you got to play your own course on tour, or you're getting to play your own course on it?
yeah, that's why I thought it'd be good to play along. I can get a
Yeah.
extra practice round in.
Nice. So
Um,
yeah, when you talk about strategy here, I mean, this is a hole to me where there is strategy. It's not necessarily difficult. Nice eagle, by the way. Um, because it's that kicker slope you can use that to help you get in there, right? Rather than just everything being to punish you. This was some really cool helping slopes.
yeah, and I remember when you first played it, you actually hit one very tight to the bunker, and I think you like skipped over
Oh
it,
yeah,
and you had an eagle that time. And I think the line you had, yeah, it would have been nice if the ball would have kicked into the bunker because you mishit it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I also think it's neat that you hit a bad shot, much like in real life, and then you still get a favorable bounce or something that
Hmm.
ends up working out for it.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I did. And then you back it up with a meaty par three here. But again, there's that pin looks tucked, but here's the ridge,
Yeah,
right? Uh-oh,
like
are we gonna have an ace?
oh,
Oh,
and like that's what like this course for me, like I enjoy playing this course. I like watching the ball roll out like that. I
hmm.
know there's a lot of people that feel the same way, and I was like really happy with that. As like that shot there, that's like fun to you just sit there and
Nah,
watch it.
that's gonna be just plugging. I fasted it. But yeah, I agree with you. I like when the ground's used as well. It just makes it to me it's more fun than just throwing darts all day.
Oh yeah.
So it looks like ground movement was something that you were really well, I wouldn't say not focusing, or that you just were really paying attention to on this course.
Yeah, I think, like I said, Maddie was, I think, one of the first that kind of took a look at this and actually built this one kind of in a sequence I noticed through Dream Team that most people follow, which is, you lay your surfaces, you got your holes routed, and then you do the bulk of your sculpting. Um, my Dream Team course, like I said, I threw down this clubhouse because I'm trying to impress people or show something pretty neat. And then next thing you know, the clubhouse is jacked up, 100 feet in the air. And to build a course around it, unless you want to, ditch the clubhouse, you're then stuck with that. And so after I had this completely routed, surfaced, and sculpted, I kind of asked for advice from people. Like I said, Maddie helped me. Dan, Pithy.
Hmm.
I think I complained or whined enough that my course wasn't being used in Dream Team that he gave me a sympathy playthrough with some really good feedback. But like this hole here was redesigned probably 3 times. It was a really short par four to begin with.
Hmm.
Um, but it didn't matter if you took the like tight route to the left or you just threw it out way to the right. You were still just coming in with a sand wedge or something. So it wasn't all that interesting. And then it changed to something like, oh, I'll try to take your drive over a bunker and you'd be rewarded. And that was kind of silly too. So then, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 iterations to actually get something you like.
So you needed to make this a little longer so that the angle mattered.
Yeah, and I think when you played through it before, somebody, I think it was Mayday or somebody commented, said, that bunker in the center line bunker, probably should be further to the left to tighten that better angle, which
Yeah,
comes from the left to make that a little more challenging. I totally agree with that.
yeah, yeah. I think you're right. I think it was Mayday, and yeah, probably. And then so, I mean, overall, I think you're mentioning off recording here that your focus on this course was more the actual course as opposed to the off course stuff.
Yeah, I think when I posted it, my lame humor in the forum when I posted this about making rookie moves and not doing anything except the stock buildings or something. Um, but I had every intention to build the like the bungalows or the houses that um, we'll see them in a couple holes or so. But I initially thought I would build them kind of custom with bridges and walls, and you can see them in the background there. kind of make them more interesting than just those standard clubhouses. But um, didn't really think it was necessary. I said, let me show that I'm not just a one-trick pony, and that maybe I can put together some actual playable golf or enjoyable golf.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I'm enjoying playing it now. I remembered I enjoyed playing it before. It's just I like the openness of it, and yeah, and then the fact the ball rolls. I like that too. So this hole, I don't remember this one. This is the kind of, is this 8? No, it's a 6.
No. Yeah, this used to play. I think the green was a little further right, and it wasn't a punch bowl. It was you were pretty much playing straight back up the previous fairway. It was just kind of odd. And I almost at first I made it drivable with the punch bowl green. I thought that would be cool to try to do a drivable 4 here. Um, but for some reason I at the end just backed it up and said make it a little easier.
Easier than a drivable?
Yeah, because if you're gonna make it drivable, I would add more elements to it or try to make it trickier.
Okay.
Inevitably, yeah.
I see what you mean. So this is a little bit of a straightforward hole just to kind of break up the other
Yeah.
ones.
Breather hole. Yep.
All right.
I mean, like I said, this is my goal was not to make something overly difficult, but it is something, and I think so far we're kind of seeing it with our scores. Like I said, I'm a CC player and not even a very good one, and I think you just moved up in tour.
Yeah, I'm hanging on to elite by my fingernails.
So the part of this was, reading the design philosophy behind Gamble Sands was like, yeah, we'll make it challenge, like, kind of find a way to bridge that gap between good players and not as good players that, you know, you and I are competing right now. And
Mm-hmm.
mostly I'm going to take all the credit for that in the design, even though it may not pan out in the end.
We'll see. We'll see. So it was a conscious decision to leave all that empty space back there?
You like in the far distance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like actual Gamble Sands is it's a river that runs, and I think the plot should probably be higher elevated, and there's an actual river, and um I would believe in real life, which I've never been there. Q kind of helped me out with
Uh-huh.
I think he's I think Q's been there and kind of explained kind of how this course plays. Um and so it wasn't conscious, it was just you know, a little bit of lazy, a little bit of time crunch coming out of Dream Team. I think
Right.
that was published early December, and this was due. What was it? Ended
End of
January.
January. It sounds right. So Q is also in the rookie contest and he's helping you with this. That's cool.
Oh yeah, that's why I laugh. It's everybody references the community or whatever, but it's like, how many games do you actually know that there is a like legit community? Like you take a Call of Duty, I think we were talking before this, and it's like there's so many players. You get lost in the mix.
Yeah.
Where this is actually a pretty tight knit bunch, and I think I mentioned to you, or because I want to say maybe it was like Design League 2.4, let's say, and you were playing through my little 6 holes, and
Mm-hmm.
I said something like, "Oh yeah, my initial inspiration came from this course in Maryland. Some guy owns a piece of property and had somebody come in and build the course." And you said, "Oh, Matt, you know all about Maryland, right? Matt F."
Yeah.
And I like went back and I looked through the chat or something and saw that he had said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm somewhat familiar." Made a joke, and
Yeah.
so I sent him a message. And I said, "Oh, really? What part of Maryland are you from?" And happens he's like 25, 30 minutes from me. I said, well, if you ever want to get out sometime, go play a around in real life, let me know. And at this point, we've probably been out a half dozen times. And actually, a couple weeks from now, him and I are playing a 2-man scramble. So
Cool.
yeah, it was neat to be able to meet somebody through your stream and in this element and have
Y-
something.
Yeah,
We don't even chat about design. We chat about real golf now.
yeah, that doesn't happen in most games.
Yeah.
Ah, I took a slightly different route to you here.
Yeah, this whole it was funny. I think when Dan played this one, he got distracted or something, and I think he like said something like, "Oh, I appreciate you being different with this." Like it was just this like odd track, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm keeping it, whatever.
Yeah, I just decided to go way out to the left because it was wide open, and then it looked like it was just straight up the throat after that. But
Yeah, and this is actually the one I think if you play way to the right, then another green looks, the one behind you, like it looks accessible, which is actually I think 11.
okay, yeah, I can't fly around because we're both playing. But
Yeah,
um,
that's nothing to see here. All the off courses on the dream team.
there you go. So, did you start this after Dream Team was published, or were you kind of doing them at the same time, or?
I started after.
Okay.
Actually, mid. That's the funny thing in Dream Team. You're in the Discord with others, and you see what people are working on. And
Mm-hmm.
at one point, I kind of got a bit discouraged, and I was like, started a whole nother course. And I said to McTrees, like, expressed my like frustrations, and he was like, "No, go back to what you're working on, finish that up. If you got something new, save that for rookie, because rookie, you're going to be able to get all this feedback. People are going to play the beta, et cetera, et cetera." I was like, okay. And then kind of that partnered with
Ah.
Pat LeVar, who was on,
Mm-hmm.
the red team as well. Kind of gave me a play or watched me play through my dream team course and games, and that was kind of what got me to the finish line there, which was great. That team element is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, what was the biggest thing you took out of Dream Team that whole experience? Was it having been your first?
Um, hmm,
Because I fan this into the bunker. Oh no.
yeah, I honestly, it's so many things. It's hard to pick just one.
Well, then pick multiple.
Yeah, possible. I don't know. For one, don't build your clubhouse before you build your golf holes. I'll tell you that.
It's fair.
But the real key was just um, maybe not caring so much, or not like I don't know. It's hard to say.
Was it a,
Stump.
was it a bit of design what you want to design, and maybe like things like fundamentals are important, but beyond that, don't worry about what other people think? Is that kind of what you mean by not caring, or?
Yeah, because it's easy in Dream Team. You're getting feedback from multiple angles.
Yeah.
You got multiple people that are giving you comments on what you're doing, and it, like I think I was showing Jives a couple holes. I had one hole in the routing I was stuck on, and he really helped me. Say, well, move the bunker here and do this. And I said, oh, okay. And like it all made sense. I really liked the way that hole turned out. And then I get to this next hole. I think it was the par four where you um, take it over the monastery or whatever. And he's like, oh, that's a cool tee shot. That reminds me of such and such in Tiger Woods' game. And then he kind of starts talking to me about how he builds greens and real challenging or whatever. Well, then I found myself in designing the next 3 or 4 greens I designed, they're all like tricked out with big slopes because he had encouraged that or kind of emphasized how that's something he did. And I was kind of like, oh, that's neat. That so it affects the way you might design for, a half hour that I'm tweaking greens and I'm making them all, you know, and and I'm not saying that's a bad thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it made the course a bit inconsistent for me, where I was taking feedback from multiple places, and even though it was all pretty decent
Mm-hmm.
or pretty, it was good feedback, it just made things a little inconsistent for me. And all the while you're trying to, impress your peers with this, for me, it was what kind of wacky off course thing can I build next?
So this course was, so it's what it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like when you went into Dream Team, you were thinking you needed to do some kind of spectacular stuff to, impress people or whatever. And then for this, you were like, I don't need to do that. I need to build a solid course that I enjoy.
That 100%.
Okay.
And I'm really pleased with the way that panned out. So to answer your question, the biggest takeaway from Dream Team was to be able to walk out of it and build a next course that I believe is actually really fun to play, and my favorite course that I've built so far. So
Awesome.
I'm really happy with it.
The one thing
And
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I really appreciate all the help I got from my teammates. Like I said, Dan to be the first one to step up and say, hey, want to play through your beta and give you the feedback. And what's neat is Dan actually, when I watched him play through this course, he doesn't use the scout cam, so he's really looking at the holes
Okay.
from a more real life perspective in terms of what are you looking at? How's this set up in real life? And granted, I didn't take all the good feedback he
Ah,
gave me, but
stop.
um,
Okay.
it was great to have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean and that I think to me that's probably the biggest value of Dream Team is the team aspect of it, that you've got, well, what, 19 teammates and then the captain as well. There'd be 21 of
Yep.
you in the Discord, I'm guessing, right? So
Yep.
that's pretty wild. I just remembered something when I played this course that I noticed. When I go to putt, I'll try to find it. But there was like a ruggedness to this play. Like it's not completely uniform everywhere. Like with the way that the rough is, or like here. I don't know if you can see my screen or if you can see what I'm looking at. The way the bunker is, it's not like, it's kind of jagged in places, and um I felt like this was a conscious thing that you did. It's meant to be a bit, it's not meant to be uniform, it's not meant to be perfect.
Right. Yep. Yeah, my dream team course was that I was always joking, like all the monks coming out of the monastery are super manicuring every little bit of that course, and I wanted this to be, you know, as far opposite of that as possible. So
Okay. Yeah. Okay, because that was something that was in the chat when I played this, that was something that divided some people a little bit. And I was like, I think it's done on purpose and I like it. I think it fits the environment. I think this is meant to be kind of an everyman's course that is good, but it's not, you're not having marble floors in the washrooms and stuff. 'Cause I have played a course that has those before. Devil's Pulpit near Toronto. It was built by the guys who invented Trivial Pursuit. It was crazy. Metal spikes on marble is an interesting sound. Okay.
yeah, I think the poshest place I've been to is Trump National in Virginia. I got invited to, but it was like 40-mile-an-hour winds that day, so it was not enjoyable to play at all.
Oh, centerline hazards, I love you so much. So going left here, it looks like it's definitely the longer shot, but it looks like the lie isn't flat either, whereas right is shorter and flat. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah, so this one actually holds pretty close to, I'm not sure which hole number it is at Campbell Sands, but I think in terms of bunker placement, it's very close. But yeah, tried to make it flat where you come through that little chute there and
Yeah.
give you that. But yeah, see, you're in the bunker and I'm trying to get a stroke back on you.
Uh-huh. I mean, centerline hazards are magnets for me, so. Oh, look where that ball mark is too. All right. I'm gonna need to give this some Canny.
Yeah, I tell you, one other thing that kind of came in parallel with this course is I started playing the game a little more in terms of you know, qualified for CC and
Nick, why is my ball not in the green?
you you
There's a ridge there. Okay.
must need an extra club there.
Maybe I should have paid attention to the fact there was a ridge there. I might have done that when I played it the first time too, come to think of it. So this looks like one of the more difficult holes, not in it being long, but the green is a little bit less friendly.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't like this.
I blame the designer personally.
Oh, me too. Oh, that'll work.
Not bad out of there. Ah. All right, so how many courses have you done now?
So this I think is 5. First course I did was a like a what they call RCR
Mm-hmm.
of the course at Wynn Casino in Vegas.
Okay.
Because when I first got the game and I jumped in the designer, I probably did what some people do, which is jack the plot up 200 feet, put a 100-yard canyon, and build a bridge across it, thinking that's like going to be really cool. And then before you know it, it's like this is just not working.
You,
This is terrible.
you forgot island greens and waterfalls, by the way.
Yeah. there, there were multiple of those.
Okay.
Uh, and then, of course, you jump to the tutorials. I remember watching a Canuck tutorial, and the funny thing is, I got to give most of my off-course credit to everybody's favorite Jerry because I remember watching one of his tutorials, and I don't know if it was, like episode 1, he's showing you the plot or whatever, and then between episode 1 and coming back to episode 2, he shows you his clubhouse he built, which is like a lighthouse buried inside of another building, inside of another building.
Oh.
And seeing, that was that first thing that triggers like, oh, I see, you can nest these things to make things more interesting. And
Hmm.
so that started that. But I couldn't do my own kind of original course at that point. So I said, why don't I, go to Google Earth, measure out. I always have a, soft spot for Vegas. And I actually played the Desert Inn course before Wynn bought it and redesigned it. Fazio redesigned that one. But so anyway, I thought it'd be a good exercise to try to recreate that one to at least understand how the designer works. And honestly, the off-course strip and parking garage are pretty solid. Um, but then did my own original course, which is the one that, like I said, McTrees gave me feedback on through Facebook, which is, a pretty obnoxious, terrible course. I think
What's it called?
there's a it's called Arid Waters, and then there's a couple arid water reduxes, which are really just me trying to make what's bad better, but it isn't. So, um,
Kick, kick, kick. Ah.
but that course is just an absurdity. Like there's a bridge from one, lighthouse or a bridge from one thing to the other to cross a river, and yeah, no one should ever play
All
it.
right.
Ooh,
That's,
and then and after that, that's when I jumped into the design leagues, which I thought were a ton of fun. And now's probably a good time to mention that myself, Pat, and MVP Manatee Jack, we're going to kind of trio, and I think others are going to help out as well. But we're putting together the post for the forum to get design league started back up.
Design League is back.
Yeah, we're bringing it back.
Nice.
Back
Um,
and better than ever. promised to be better than Matty left it for us.
For those who aren't aware, Matty from Canada was running that, and then he became a chef, and his life got super busy. So it took a bit of a hiatus there. Awesome to hear that somebody's taken that over, though, because I really believe that it's probably the best thing in TGC Tours for new designers.
Oh, absolutely. And it was such a platform for me. Like you said, how do you go from really not being involved at all to on Dream Team,
Mm-hmm.
in 8-9 month period. Um, and a lot of it was, well, all of it was probably Design League. So I'm happy to be a part of bringing that back and letting others kind of experience the same thing, and kind of my initial thoughts. And obviously I'm going to get feedback from the others that are helping out, but it's, maybe do something that kind of builds upon itself, like starting people out with, contest one, I believe, spoiler, is going to be geared around building the best plot,
Oh, okay.
which would be, when I see that come back to me and go, oh man, I wish I had this plot so I could put my own course on it, is really, who's going to be the one to probably take the win on the first one. But and we'll see if that can grow, and then ideally at the end you end up with some really good courses, um, but give a lot of specific feedback along the way to some of the different elements that you got to encounter when building, when designing.
Are you keeping the 6-hole aspect of it?
um, I think it'll vary.
Mm,
Excuse me. Or maybe if the first contest is really plot oriented,
okay.
then maybe we just give me like 3 holes, maybe.
I
So
gotcha.
um,
But we're like,
that's my
I guess where I'm going, you're not like going straight into 18 holes though right away. You're, again,
no, no.
kind of easing people into it.
Like here's one of the shots. It's like I can
This
just
is
sit here and
cool.
watch the ball roll close to the hole and
Yeah. Not done yet.
get there.
So you guys are going to even break it down a little further and have it like really focus on some of the main fundamentals of a course.
That's my initial thought,
Cool.
and it may change, but I think if we, I think plot creation alone is, probably good for a contest itself. There's a lot of efforts in routing. There's surfacing, sculpting, planting, off course, So if we can tie that all together, and then also at the end of the day end up with, I don't want to discourage people from participating.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what was cool the way Maddie had it running was you could jump in at any time,
Yep.
and you know and not feel like you're behind the 8 ball, and the points don't really matter, whatever. You're more getting that feedback, and I'm hoping some of the newer designers you know want to get in that, and you see some things that stand out. That was, like I said, I had a great time doing it, and having, like, I never forget, like, seeing you first, and then Maddie, as I missed this putt, um, play through, even that 6 holes was like, oh, that was really like the trigger that's like, oh, why am I doing this? Or why is this really exciting? And it's like, oh, yeah, there's a lot of hobbies that you might create something artistic or do, and nobody uses it, or
Right.
nobody sees it. So this is a cool kind of, I don't know the word for it, but it's a cool kind of hobby that I can build something, and then people are going to actually use it, and I get more excitement and more enjoyment watching people use what I built than actually, maybe even building it.
I think this fairway right here is a little tight. I'm going to stay left.
that's the that's the tee box for the next though.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying there. And then with this course being on CC, I mean, you're going to have probably 1,000 people playing it, upwards of 4 times. That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. I've said this to others, and it's like the the dream team course with all the off course stuff, and like I remember, like, me and my wife were out to dinner the first day I had posted that to the forum, and you know Jim Gems posting his YouTube video of his playthrough, and I'm yelling at my wife, "Babe, you got to get on the hype train. The hype train. The course, it's blowing up, blowing up." And she's like ready to smack me in the head mid dinner.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And Matt, me and Maddie always joke with each other about, oh, you gotta get those plays up. Plays equal, and to be honest, like I like the plays. I'll never argue the plays equal quality, but if you created music or other avenues,
Yeah,
more plays means more people are interested in it and they like it or they want to see it. So I'm all for that.
that's cool.
But that off course stuff is good for a round. Like once you see it and you
That's
experience it, that
that,
was a terrible
that's
pun.
halfway there.
Yeah, but once you experience the off course stuff and you see it one time, you're probably good on it.
Hmm.
And unless the golf was good, why go back?
Right.
Y- So that if people have lasted this long and
Ah.
watching, then that's a bit of advice. Make the golf really good first. I've heard you say that a million times because the golf will bring people back. The off-course stuff will bring them once. And this course here, being on CC, is probably going to get more plays than the Dream Team course.
Hmm.
That's probably sitting at 10,000.
Yeah, this is gonna get all the practice rounds people are gonna play, all the tournament rounds. And the other thing though is, like you said, with the off course, you see it once, it's the same, right? The golf course isn't the same every time you play it.
Right.
Like the conditions are different, the pins are different. It just plays differently every time. So, yeah, I like how you've given room for the ball to roll, particularly a hole like this that's 230. And I'm trying to decide how far back do I land it because I want it to roll.
Yeah, at one point I think I had this one all the way stretched out to like 265, 270, and this is one where Pithy said, that seems a bit extreme unless you're really asking me to lay up for some reason. But this is a hole I remember in a kind of like a practice. I did a red fast and dropped one way over to the left of the bunker, and it actually kicked right and ended up down near the pin. And that was one of those moments where I was like, oh, that happens in real life from time to time where you just hit this terrible shot, but you still get really lucky. And I was like, if I can work that in some sort of way, then I'm all
Yeah,
for it.
and it's tough to do that, which is cool if you're able to pull it off. Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed to land short of the green. All right, so we're getting towards the end of this. I think one thing a lot of people will be interested in is advice that you might have for people like say newer designers or maybe designers that haven't quite established themselves yet. Because so when Pithy picked you for Dream Team, you had the Design League stuff, and then did you have an 18 hole course out yet? I think you did.
I had two that actually when I submitted them to TGC, it was before they kind of changed their kind of approval system,
Right.
and my first two courses were both rejected.
Okay.
Uh, I'm still holding a grudge, um,
I'm sure you are.
but but no, I sometimes I think back, oh, I wish it was a little tougher. I think it sets a bar or an element of challenge that it is enjoyable to try to get there. But anyway, so no, I had those two, and then a bunch of Dream Team stuff, and I was working on the Parkland contest that
Right.
Ben and CD were kind of running, which was a lot of fun too. Um,
Okay. So so really it was it was the Design League stuff that probably got him to think, oh, okay. So I guess where I'm going with this is you in a sense kind of came out like you went from a guy that say 8 months ago or 9 or 10 months ago whatever is providing courses that are being rejected by the database, and now you're in Dream Team and your course is on
knife.
tour,
Don't touch the knife.
right? No, but so where I'm going with that is what advice do you have for people, because I guarantee you there are people out there who are where you were, where they're they're struggling to understand, why don't people like my courses as much? Why are they not getting approved? Or maybe why are they not tour worthy? What advice do you
Yeah.
have for those people?
So I've heard you say it in your stream multiple times. You really have to decide kind of what direction do you want to take with your design. Like if you want to do fantasy stuff and certain things, and that's your goal, and you want flashy stuff, then build what you like. But that's not what TGC is looking for on tour.
Okay.
Uh, so I would say, start playing in the tours, start playing the game, understand. Like, I think when I submitted my course for Dream Team, Ben asked for difficulty level, and I think I put like difficult CC, like because I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I had no concept of like how difficult course is for Platinum Kinetic Elite, and then I didn't have that concept, and then I watched the playthrough, and he goes, "Well, that pin there, that's not CC level," like, and it's like, oh, okay, like so play the game,
Okay.
see what courses are on the particular tours, and compare them if that's your goal to get a course on tour, and just don't completely mimic it, but design in a way that is similar, or that plays to a certain level or plays the shots you need. Don't the green, the design of the greens, like that was my one of the bigger takes away from Dream Team, where I had this kind of real a fantasy type course that I thought was neat, and people obviously like some of the elements off course, but then you're sticking a pin on a yellow orange type slope that's like really difficult to play, and you suck the fun out of the course.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're building a fantasy type world type course that's really neat, well, make it more fun. If you're building a really super difficult course because you'd like to see it on the Platinum Tour and challenge everybody's skill, we'll do that. But then don't worry as much about some of the off course stuff. So I think you just gotta adapt, and um, there's so much, you know, information, so much feedback. People are more than happy to help you. Ask the questions. Um, yeah,
Okay.
I ask me. I'm happy to answer anybody's questions. I'm certainly somewhat obnoxious online, and I like to make the jokes in the forum, but I'm only picking on people because that's how you boys showed love when I was growing up.
There you go. So yeah, so what I got out of that was decide what kind of courses you want to design, and then design the courses that the people in those communities want or enjoy or whatever. So then you kind of focus on TGC Tours and what TGC Tours is looking for. How did you find
Right,
TGC Tours?
that's the direction you want to go, certainly.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did you find TGC Tours? I'm just curious.
So that I was in the Facebook kind of the designer page or whatever, and I think I posted a comment on someone ranting about being upset that their course wasn't accepted by TGC Tours, and I made some comment about we're all somewhat insecure about what we put out, but take the feedback, move on. I said if anybody wants to give me a good old roasting, I'm open to it. Well, McTree's Forrest said I'll do you one better. Here's a video playthrough of your recent course, and enjoy the roasting.
I might know what course this was.
Maybe. Um, so then when he, kind of sent that over, I made some excuse to leave my family time to go sit and watch it because I couldn't wait. And, I was quick, oh, let me go do this, there, or the other. And, I'm probably pestering him and annoying him to, no end with questions, and how do I get better, and how do I do this, and what do you think about this, and oh, I got this idea, and what do you think? And then, he was just very open to the communication. And then, I know he was, after some of the design league stuff, I know he always was a champion for me, and uh, kind of helped me get there as well. So I
Cool.
appreciate all that. I appreciate Dan Pithy for all the feedback and stuff through Dream Team, and even more so after the fact. Um, and you as well for doing the playthroughs and doing what you do. It's like I said, it's funny to be able to call or have a community in a game and it legit be this community, and we all joke about it, but
Yeah.
it's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, it is. And you and I have been in it for about the same amount of time, so that's cool too.
Yeah.
So the way I always end these, I ask, what's your favorite part about this course?
This for me, this course was like the round we just had.
Mhm.
I started focusing more on what we were talking about than the play and then actual playing. But I enjoy playing it. And actually now building the World Cup course, which the next one to come out. I'm struggling a little bit to enjoy playing that one as much as this one, so some tweaks might be needed. But
Okay.
I think this one's just fun to play.
Cool. And then if there's anything you could change about this course, what would it be?
I'll steal this one from Maddie. I'm gonna blow up all the trees. He said I should get rid of all the trees, and I kind of agree. And I wish I could have done or had more time to do some of the cool off-course stuff down in the valley, and instead of just spamming some textures to make a farm.
I got you. All right. Cool. Well, I can't thank you enough for doing this. When you reached out, I thought, yeah, that'd be really cool. The guy who's, like I said, come to the forefront of all the major competitions in really quick order. I thought it'd be really cool to talk to you about that. So, yeah, thank you for doing this, man.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
Cool. And for those of you guys watching, thanks for watching episode 5. Episode 6 will be here next week. I don't know who it'll be with yet because I haven't gotten that far, but it'll be somebody. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe. You'll find all of freternick's contact information in the pinned comment below. Make sure you're checking out his courses. Make sure you're checking him out on the forums and whatnot. And yeah, if any designers out there that are needing some help, hit him up. He'll be more than happy to help you. But for now, I'm going to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.